Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I have one quick administrative announcement before we hand it over to our speakers to kick off the session. This session has been pre-qualified to support continuing education requirements for several cybersecurity certifications. If you are a member seeking attendance documentation, please be sure to scan your badge at the scanner located in the back of the seating area at the conclusion of this session. Scanner shut off 15 minutes post-session, so please get your badge scanned before networking with the speakers. Also note that to qualify for CEUs or CPEs, the session must run a full 60 minutes. That 60 minutes can include Q&A, so please have questions ready for the speakers to fill the time requirement. Full details on the continuing education program are available in the TechNet Cyber app and the conference website. Thank you, and now over to our speakers.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us for the discussion on distributed hybrid multi-cloud. I'm Danina Herrera, and I'm with NetApp. And NetApp is honored to be a supporting partner of AFCEA's TechNet Cyber. As the intelligent data infrastructure company, NetApp has unified the hybrid multi-cloud experience with its DISA APL-approved operating system and single interface that provides one set of APIs and ease of data movement between any cloud and on-prem systems. Our speakers today include Zachary Funt, Jeremy Lane, Forrest Hollyfield, and Jerry Newell. Mr. Funt is DISA's technical advisor for its hybrid computing line of business. He provides guidance on cloud automation, high-performance computing, and cybersecurity. Prior to DISA, he supported General Dynamics robotic systems and also administered systems at Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Lab. Mr. Lane is also a technical advisor for DISA's hybrid computing LOB, and prior to DISA, he was a technical trainer for the AEGIS program. Mr. Holyfield is a senior technical advisor of DISA J9, overseeing cloud initiatives and large-scale infrastructure projects. He's been an automation PM on JWICS and a cloud ops technical lead. Mr. Newell is a senior technical advisor for the hybrid computing LOB. His expertise spans IT project management, cloud computing, cybersecurity, and database administration. He began his career as a computer program for the U.S. Air Force. Go Air Force. Please join me in welcoming our distinguished panelists.
All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. I want to thank everybody for taking the time to come here on the Thursday. I know we're getting in the 11th hour of the conference, so we really appreciate it. We're here to talk about distributed hybrid multi-cloud today, otherwise known as DHMC. This is something that's been in the works for probably around 3 years now. It's gone through an OTA that we're still pushing forward with, and we're just really excited to get started. How do we get it? Okay. All right, so to talk about where we are now and where we're going, I'd like to kind of go back and give a history to kind of paint the picture of what we're trying to accomplish. So back in 1960, the Defense Communications Agency was established. This is, as you'll see in a second, will be ultimately what becomes DISA. And so between the 60s and the 90s, this was the rise of the centralized data centers and mainframes. This is something else that I'm sure everybody's familiar with. And then in 1991, that's when that transition happened, when DCA ultimately became the Defense Information Systems Agency, which is what we are today. In 92, we started a consolidation of our data centers. We went from 194 data centers down to just 16 mega data centers. And then as we got into the 2000s, everybody I'm sure is familiar with when we went through the virtualization boom. It was pretty scary in the beginning, but now it's considered, for the most part, a best practice, and it's very common today. In the 2010s, that's kind of when a lot of people's cloud journeys began, especially more in the commercial side. And then in 2018, the DoD put out some initiatives to increase cloud adoption, and that was just further compounded in 2022 when JWCC was awarded. That made it extremely easy for DoD to acquire cloud through the JWCC contract, and that was awarded to AWS, Google, Microsoft, and Oracle. And so here we are now. Why now? And what it comes down to is we're here to align with the DoD's modernization goals.
All right, so here's the overview of today's presentation. We'll go over the challenges that our strategic partners struggle with daily, weekly, monthly, that we're trying to create a solution for. So we want to meet with each mission partner, so we're going to kind of keep this short so we can meet with people after this session and discuss what their why is and what kind of solutions we can provide to meet the what that they have. So we'll go over the solutions and then the key benefits of DHMC that we're going to be able to provide. Yep. Okay, so we got slow costs. And all of these challenges that people have also make it difficult for mission partners, strategic partners to meet General Stanton's 4 priorities. So I want to make sure that we tie this back, that the campaigning portion of it, it's going to be hard it makes slow and costly IT procurement, the security and compliance. There we go. And operational inefficiencies make it very difficult for strategic partners to have continuous modernization. For the campaigning, it makes it difficult for slow, costly IT procurement. They've got old systems, legacy that we talked about on Tuesday. Mr. Marshall discussed the continuous modernization of being able to allow mission partners that have legacy systems to upgrade, change, use their continuous modernization to get to a cloud-first priority environment. The lack of cost and transparency that we'll have displayed in our environment. People will be able to see the portal, the billing portal, that will show all their costs, and there will be no hidden items within their cost environment. Security, compliance, and risk. There will be a security portal view, so strategic partners can see exactly what security compliance their systems are meeting. Complex multi-cloud environments will enable lethality across whatever theater they're in. And finally, the operational inefficiencies that they're struggling with today cover all of the 4 points from General Stanton. So we'll move that on to the solution. All right, so DHMC, the single management portal, is the main piece that drove this initiative when we first decided to go down this path 3 years ago, like Forrest mentioned. We wanted the billing portal to be available, the automation to be available in a portal, all of these things that tie together that the developers need to see, the program managers need to see at a single click, single user interface. On-prem cloud environment that matches with their cloud environment. So you can have commercial cloud assets and you can have on-premise cloud assets that meet the NIST definition of cloud. So Cloud First Initiative is met with DHMC on-prem or off-prem. We support the current DISA CAS environment, as well as Red Hat OpenShift will be available as soon as we release. Traditional virtualized assets that you have today can migrate seamlessly over into DHMC. And after that, I'll pass it over.
All right, thank you, Jerry. My name is Jeremy, and thank you again for your time today. This slide here, we just want to talk a little bit about the NIST definitions that we follow, right? Any of you guys spend a lot of time reading those, going through those, memorizing those? No? Just a few? All right. So I know there's a lot out there as far as the NIST goes, but that's why I'm thankful for our cyber team and the risk management framework, right? This is, if you follow that, it helps organize those requirements and help you manage all of those NIST requirements that we see on the board today. With the addition of STIGs, you can provide even more detail and cover down on those areas that may or may not overlay with a particular control family within RMF framework. So if you actually look at the RMF framework and some of those security controls, or even in the STIGs down in the bottom right corner on the reference section, it'll show you how you're aligning with the NIST compliance, right? So I'm thankful for all those things that are out there to kind of help us and what we used to follow and provide a secure infrastructure within DHMC. One of the main things we'd like to touch on here is the definition of cloud computing and also the zero trust architecture, which is where no user or device is trusted by default. But one of the big pushes is the NIST definition of cloud, right? In 2018, the DoD CIO memo talked about being cloud first and cloud biased. So by creating an infrastructure that's driven towards the NIST definition of cloud, we provide that capability to meet this requirement and stay on premise, if you'd like, within the hybrid cloud environment. Within Zero Trust, a lot of that is driven by RBAC controls that we've put into our system, centralized logging and auditing of those end-user actions, or whether they're at the tenant level, the MSP level, or the CSP level, and the AI/ML monitoring and observability that we have in place to detect those actions. So, thank you. Next slide. So this slide here is going to touch on a lot of what the NIST definition of cloud provides. So with the beginning of the cost efficiency and utility billing, a lot of that's going to align with the NIST definition of measured service. Without measured service, it's going to be hard to know what you use and how much that costs on a continuous basis, kind of moving away from fiscal year planning to what you use planning. The security and compliance, we kind of just touched on that in the previous slide. A lot of that is driven by the NIST definitions that we have to comply with within the RMF and the security and the control families. Faster deployment and mission agility. This falls in line with the NIST definition of rapid elasticity and resource pooling. You've got to have those in place to be able to deploy fast and be agile as you want to scale in any environment. So we've built our infrastructure around that capability. Operational efficiency and automation. So Morpheus is our main cloud control plane, or workflow orchestrator. We've also got other tools and components inside of DHMC, such as ServiceNow, OpsRamp, and a lot of those things that utilize API calls to automate a lot of the things that we used to do that were manual in a normal legacy environment. And again, in the last slide here, everything that we've done, we've intended to build this infrastructure leaning towards cloud-first capability, not only to meet the requirement, but to exceed it and make sure that we're moving towards continuous modernization within our agency. So this slide here, it's a pretty busy slide. There's a lot of components inside of DHMC or any probably hybrid cloud environment that you would see. Most of the time when you log into a cloud environment, you're just going to see the console, and you really don't follow what's underlying in that infrastructure and really what makes that console work and its capabilities work. But in this busy slide here, I'll just give an example of there's a control plane. And within that control plane, it's got the ability to make API calls out to the public cloud. It's also got the ability to make API calls and integrate with any private cloud underneath it. We've got the ability to deploy bare metal servers. So within this control plane, we have the ability to cross all of those environments, creating a true hybrid cloud platform. And then also inside of that environment, we have other supporting components, right? Like IT operations management components like OpsRamp and ServiceNow, OpenShift for our Kubernetes deployment platform, Ansible and Terraform, which kind of drive our automation and infrastructure as code needs. All right, next slide.
All right, so we'll go over some scenarios that mission partners have come up with. They're wise. And so in scenario one, a logistics organization that manages the global military supply chain. They need to ensure timely delivery of equipment, fuel, and supplies. They have legacy IT systems that cause delays and inefficiencies. which the challenges they run into, lack of real-time data access and scalability issues at peak times. So I'll hand it over to Zach to speak more to that.
Thanks, Jerry. We, as Jerry said, we have a couple of scenarios to go through. It's going to be a little back and forth. So what we're saying here, DHMC is providing a secure on-premise private cloud. We can host that logistical data with real-time access, and that's across all DoD sites. We can enable that cloud bursting during peak demand and auto scale back when not needed. We're providing DHMC is providing us with integration with the DISA ticketing and compliance workflows, and delivering that end-to-end visibility. We're also reducing over-provisioning and unnecessary costs while optimizing your budget and resource utilization. Thank you. So in our outcome here of our scenario, I say bullseye, right? So your legacy IT systems are now operating with improved efficiencies. Your prior struggles with real-time data monitoring have disappeared. Your scalability issues have been resolved, and your security and compliance has been saved with our automated compliance workflows.
All right, scenario 2, a DoD weapons sustainment program needs a secure, high-availability cloud environment to manage classified engineering data, maintenance records, and mission-critical software while remaining fully on-premise. So the challenges they run into on the board. So no commercial cloud access allowed, requiring an on-premise solution, and it needs to meet the Cloud First initiative. Zach, over to you.
Thanks again. Excellent scenario. So DHMC, as we've said before, DHMC is providing us a fully managed private cloud offering with the automated orchestration and scaling, as well as automated asset management and compliance monitoring with integration to DISA's toolset. DHMC helps optimize cost allocation across the program's lifecycle. Our verdict, another winner. Right? So now we're part of a highly available, secure cloud while remaining on-prem, while also meeting NIST cloud definition, which Jeremy covered earlier, slide 7, and remaining compliant with current DoD security mandates, like, again, the previously mentioned Zero Trust. Now, sorry, go back one. Yeah, thanks. Now we have all that goodness of the cloud scalability, and we're looking to optimize your IT spending with usage-based billing. There you go. You're good.
All right. Scenario 3, this is the last scenario for today. Deployed military unit requires real-time ISR capabilities in a remote, contested environment. The unit needs low-latency, high-performance computing to process drone feeds, satellite imagery, and encrypted battlefield communications. Challenges are unreliable and disconnected networks requiring local processing with minimal reliance on central data centers, and which requires rapid analysis. Zach, please tell us how we'll solve that.
Sure will. Okay, so DHMC is allowing us to deploy a disconnected stack at the edge to process that intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, or ISR for short, where we're processing this ISR data in real time. You can also deploy our containerized applications with AI-driven analytics. It's also bringing automated incident response and compliance tracking. Our verdict here is, for our scenario, another A+, another winner. So we dump that reliance on centralized data center for local processing of your real-time ISR data at the edge. We're providing operational continuity in contested environments while meeting DoD security and compliance standards at the edge. Thanks.
Forrest, over to you.
All right, thanks, Zach. So this is the shared responsibility model. If you're familiar with the commercial cloud service providers, you've probably seen this before. We're going to add an extra layer on this that I'll go over in a second. We'll start on the left side right here, infrastructure as a service. And when you come to us with DHMC and you get infrastructure as a service, we're going to take care of all the facilities, all the hardware, compute, storage, network, make sure that's available to you. The hypervisor layer, all the data center networking and the software-defined networking, the cloud management platform itself, and we're going to give you access to APIs that you can use to configure and manage your environment. The strategic partner, on the other hand, is going to be responsible for actually consuming and using that API to configure their environments, being able to install the OS, maintaining their images, their applications, identity and access management as well. And then, of course, the application data is always going to be the strategic partners. Now, in contrast to that, over here on the right, we have it if you come to us and you do professional services, which is something that we've done a lot historically. We do it today in our data center. We're doing it in the commercial cloud a little bit. So it's something that we've been doing for a while that we are very good at. And it's a lot of value that our strategic partners can take advantage of. And so in this case, when you have the professional services, we take care of managing it completely all the way up to the application stack. So that includes, we'll use those API and UI. We'll make the API calls to configure and manage your environment. We'll install, manage, maintain, patch the OSs for you, as well as maintain images that are compliant. We can also manage your application and also the application identity and access management as well. And so what that does is it allows you to be able to focus on your mission, on your application, and we take care of the rest of it for you. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. And just to go back touch on what Forrest just said within that last slide, back when we were talking about the NIST definition and the RMF requirements and the compliance and the complexity of all of those controls, the more up that stack you go, the less you have to worry about, right? So the more of the services you provide, the more the professional services you pay for, we cover down on those requirements for you so you don't have to worry about a lot of those security requirements. You can just focus on your mission. But I just want to touch on how those two relate, so thank you. This right here is just a quick timeline of where we're at and where we're going. Currently, we're going through the prototype acceptance, the OT award, which is Other Transactional Authority, which is what DHMC is. And once we go through the award, there will be a deployment of the production hardware, the ATO approval, and then we are shooting for a migration timeline of fiscal year 26 in October to start moving workload onto the hybrid cloud platform. So this here kind of picks up in October where the as is where is. So in October when we start the migrations, our focus is going to be on the current x86 environments where they sit and getting those onto DHMC as soon as possible so they can meet that cloud first requirement and leverage those new capabilities that DHMC will provide. HPC and GPU, as you guys saw yesterday in our panel, HPC is a complex topic, but it's a trend that's moving and coming as we start utilizing generative AI and other tools like that need high performance computing and GPUs to drive those capabilities. Not only are we focusing on hybrid cloud capability, but we're also looking in these areas on how we can support the mission partner. The utility billing, so this is a change, right, a shift from forecasting, from fiscal year to fiscal year to the measured service that we're trying to bring with the NIST cloud capability. and moving to use what you pay for. The self-service is huge. This is where we're moving from those in long onboarding requirements, the paper trails, the manual processes that we used to do, and providing you a way to utilize a portal to do a lot of your own self-service capabilities where you're in charge and you drive what you use and what you pay for. The AI/ML, we know that this is a capability that we must leverage, especially as we move towards analyzing a lot of large data sets, especially on the security side, as you know, a lot of that information gets passed to, let's say, a SIM tool. Like currently, you know, you may have incident response guys looking and tuning particular alerts, and you want to try to leverage AI/ML as much as possible to catch those things and automate those things and look at those trends that you would normally have to catch manually. So, thank you. So on this last slide, I'd like to touch on a few things here. So DHMC's on-prem cloud service leverages agile development, as you guys have seen in some of the capabilities that we've shown in this slideshow. Agile development highly contributes to continuous modernization. So without being able to change at the speed of mission, we won't be able to modernize at the speed of mission. So DHMC provides rapid deployment capabilities, which embraces emerging technologies. Without being able to do that, we can't gain the technical edge or advantage. One of the things that really drive application development and infrastructure as code, or application deployments or deployment as code, is going to be the containerization platform that can be leveraged within DHMC called OpenShift. This platform provides the DoD resilience needed for fast deployments, faster recovery, and migrations at the speed of missions. So going back to that busy slide, right, there's a lot of components that are built into this to help provide these type capabilities. DHMC aligns with the DoD cloud strategy, as you guys have seen, especially with the line of strategy for the workforce development. Being in a hybrid cloud environment and touching bare metal environments, touching private cloud environments or public cloud environments, we're going to have that capability to have a workforce that's upskilled in all of these areas where normally they may have been isolated in particular groups. DHMC can leverage the JWCC capabilities while providing integration with our private cloud environment and providing a centralized solution, like again, where it would normally be isolated to different contracts or capabilities. As missions change and capabilities evolve, DHMC's hybrid cloud solution capability will enable missions to migrate and scale on demand as mission requires. And that's tied back to the NIST cloud definition of resource pooling and rapid elasticity. So we've got to provide that. So at any point in time the mission changes, we've got to be ready to change also within our own infrastructure. Automated provisioning and API access, that's going to drive a lot of those capabilities for flexibility and scaling on demand, again, responding to evolving mission needs. Our compliance with risk management framework and our proactive cyber defense engagements enable strategic partners to focus on mission-critical applications and ensure uninterrupted operations. Vulnerability scanning, our SIM tools, our endpoint detection, like all of these things that we leverage for security capabilities will also be enhanced by the AI/ML that we're integrating into the environment, to provide powerful logging and observability for threat detection and response, enabling lethality within our DHMC product. So why choose DISA, or why choose DHMC? Again, going back to summarize what you've seen so far, especially as we go up the scale and you choose not only infrastructure as a service, but the professional services that are out there, we can cover down on all those requirements that you would normally have to do when you manage your own infrastructure or your own tenant space, no matter where it may be. And so we not only do that for you, but we cover down on all those requirements so you don't have to worry about it, and you can focus on the mission and be successful. So thank you.
All right, we'll open it up for questions now. And if you guys want to meet with us and talk with us privately afterwards, then that works too.
Hi, Jim Metney at MSM Technology. Can you explain or describe the relationship between what you just described, the distributed hybrid multi-cloud and Stratus? What is that relationship?
Let me take a shot.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's very similar. They are kind of one and the same as far as the family goes. Stratus provides infrastructure as a service, some on-demand capabilities. They have their own portal, and a lot of that's going to be enhanced with the DHMC's capabilities, where we'll also not only provide what you normally get with infrastructure as a service, but we're going to provide more of those cloud capabilities through DHMC. So the two will actually complement one another.
So David Orlando, CWS, Computer World Services. So we have a contract with DISA headquarters. It's DISA Internal Business Application Support, and we operate the updating, patching, and support of different DISA enterprise applications that centralize around financial management and identity management. Some of that's hosted in the HAC or in the hosting and compute center. Some of it's like technically on-prem, and there's also a connection to the EVIF to do development testing on that. I know a few of those applications are targeted to move over to JWIX, and I think there is discussion about moving over to distributed hybrid cloud. Is there any support that you guys are currently doing for the EVIF and creating like testing environments and development environments?
Sure.
So yeah, the objective is to work directly with these strategic partners that we can set up their dev environment and kind of roll into a DevSecOps, an agile build instead of the traditional build it in your environment, port it over, stand it up. We want to work directly with them to host whatever they need at any given time. Yeah, so we definitely want to get there, and this DHMC capability will make that allowable.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
and regardless of what environment type it is, it doesn't matter, right? So if you want to purchase infrastructure as a service and provide, and leverage professional services, no matter what runs in that tenant space, the service is the same, whether it's dev, whether it's test, whether it's prod, those same capabilities, those same services exist.
Okay, so one follow-up question before I let you guys go. So there's multiple hypervisors involved with that. So I saw Ansible on there, and I saw the term hypervisor mentioned a few times. But are you guys kind of a chameleon when it comes to using different hypervisors to be able to I guess, having those host operating systems on each blade?
Yep. So with hypervisors or with any program, there's a lot of dependencies depending on what software you're running, right? Mm-hmm. So one piece of software may be certified on one platform and it may not be certified on another platform. So that really drives your requirements on what you build within your infrastructure. But one of the things I really like about DHMC is that it's kind of hypervisor agnostic, meaning that it wasn't built with a particular hypervisor in mind because it's API driven. So you can actually put whatever private cloud environment you want under it, as long as the API or the integration capability is there. And if it is, then we can use that or leverage that, or you can leverage whatever private cloud capability we have currently in there. Okay. And if the capability is not there with that particular version that you need, we'll work with our vendor to make sure that gets integrated.
Okay, and I ask because I also have a DISA Global infrastructure support contract that managed a whole hypervisor setup from bottom up, and there was conflicts between VMware and hosting the different services we needed for that, which was mostly infrastructure service, DNS, DHCP, all that, and then also the OSS side of the house that was more Solaris at the time that's starting to migrate. So I see if it's a chameleon like that, I think DISA Global could really use you guys. But thank you.
Yep. Thanks, David.
No problem. Thank you.
Hey guys, great information, really appreciate it. If I'm interested in DHMC, where can I find more information about it?
I'm glad you asked, Joe. So there's the QR code on the screen now. That'll take you to the hack portal, and you guys can see, you'll get in contact with the hybrid cloud broker. Brandon Glover, sitting right there in the third or fourth row now. He's the guy I would go to first, and he'll talk to his team and make sure you guys get in contact with somebody that can set everything up, set up meetings, and give us your why. All right. If no further questions, the panel will be up here for anybody that wants to discuss anything privately or not over the microphone. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.